Hi, and welcome to the Power of Connection and Biz Show. I'm Kimberly Lane, Leadership Development Consultant, Employee Engagement Partner, and your host. Today, we've got an exciting show. Our guest is a sales growth expert, speaker, author, and managing partner of More Sales Advisors. She works with companies who wish to accelerate their sales results. She's got great experience as a senior vice president and VP of sales with both Silicon startups and Fortune 500 companies. Her superpower lies in her ability to build and transform organizations to unprecedented sales results and transforming sales teams from worst to first. Please welcome my guest, Patricia Watkins. And we're going to discuss her book, Land and Expand, just recently published on Amazon and entitled Land and Expand, 6 Simple Strategies to Grow Your Top and Bottom Line. Welcome, Patricia.
Thank you for having me, Kimberly.
Excellent. So we're going to just dive right into it. And I want to talk about your book today. Why did you write Land and Expand?
Well, I wrote the book actually in 2019, before COVID, and it was based on popular requests. I had written a previous book called Driving More Sales, and several clients said, why don't you write one about Land and Expand? So that was a follow-up to their request. And I began updating the book in 2020, and then the pandemic hit. And this topic of land and expand your existing customers became more relevant than ever before. So the book is about the fastest way to grow your revenue and profit. It's actually with your existing customers. And it's based on research, which my book is packed full of. And right now, everyone is buying for customers, and yours are at risk. By following the strategies within this book, companies will not only survive, but they will thrive before, during, and after the pandemic.
Excellent. Yes, this is certainly a different time, and we have to kind of be innovative in the way we do our business. In this particular case, the way we relate to our customers, right? Why are you so passionate about this subject, and why did you put so much research into your Land and Expand book?
It's a very good question, Kimberly. I did do a lot of research for the book. It was important to me to have proven, battle-tested, and current strategies. What company doesn't want to grow their top and bottom line? I wanted it all to be based on proof points and, again, research. And let me share with you some of the statistics on why it's so important to expand your customers for the quickest path to revenue and profit. One statistic: existing customers drive more revenue, and they're worth up to 10 times their first purchase. And they spend an average of 67% more than a new customer would. Another thing is existing customers drive more profit, and that of course is important to all of us. Increasing customer retention rates, retaining your customers by just a 5% increase, will increase your profits by 25 to 95% based on research. And new customers are 5 to 25 times more expensive to acquire than it is just to sell and retain an existing one. And the other thing is that's so great about existing customers is they're easier to sell to. The probability of closing an existing customer, 60 to 70%. That's a great close rate. Compare that to the probability of closing a new prospect. That's only 5 to 20%, and that's very bad. So that's some of the research. I'll share one other piece of research with you real quick. One of my favorite statistics, and it's one of the most concerning because of its impact on all of our businesses. One of the research companies showed that 80% of vendors believe that they provide exceptional service. 80% of companies think they provide exceptional service, but only 8% of their customers agreed. So again, I'm passionate about it. The research is important to me. The book is focused on how important it is to start with exceptional service to support your customers, and then how to expand your footprint within those existing customers.
Yeah, your comment about how we perceive ourselves and how well we think we're doing with our customers is kind of poignant. I think we all overestimate how well we're doing, right? And then anybody that's ever been in sales knows that the difficulty of trying to get a new client. And so your message about really focusing on your existing clients and try to sell there is very, very important fact, I think, especially now during this pandemic. As you know, this show is called The Power of Connection in Biz. So how would you expand on this important concept that people buy from people they trust and are connected to?
This is perfect, Kimberly. So much of your success, everyone's success, is about relationships. Vendors, the important thing is that you want to be in a trusted advisor position to your customers. It's important to deliver an extraordinary customer experience. And what is an extraordinary customer experience, or what is customer experience? It's every single interaction that a company has with their customers. That includes the receptionist, the call center, billing, product, the salespeople, and that it's every single interaction, because every interaction matters, which means that every single relationship matters. Before the pandemic, and especially during and hopefully soon after, some of your clients were struggling with COVID. They were struggling, some of them with revenues, and some of them had budgets that were shrinking, but they will spend money with those vendors that can help them solve key business issues and deliver critical outcomes. And the key for all of us is to make sure that that customer experience, all of those relationships, are extraordinary. And when you help them at all times, especially now, you will differentiate yourself. Land and expand is all about first land your customer and then do everything you can to retain them, build phenomenal relationships, delight them, and then you will expand your footprint within them.
Yeah, you made me think about when you mentioned all the relationships that you have with that customer, whether it's the receptionist, whether it's the director, whether it's the vice president. You know, I think in sales too, everyone wants to know who the decision maker is, the key decision maker. But I think all those human touch points along the way, all those human relationships along the way are just as important in delighting your customers. So very well said. I know you have several different strategies, multiple strategies within your book. Is there one in particular that you want to share with everybody today?
Gosh, there's 6 strategies in the book, but sure, I'll pick one. First of all the strategies are very simple. And I say that they're simple because they're not complicated. You can actually implement each one of these strategies today. So first off, let me start with one of the classic expansion strategies, and that's expansion selling through upsell and cross-sell. And we all know what cross-sell is. When you drive through a drive-through and they say, would you like fries with that burger? That's called cross-selling. It's selling a complementary solution. Now, let's take upsell. When you drive through that same drive-through and they say, would you like a super large Coke instead of the small size? It's only 15% or 15 cents more. That's called upsell. It's more value for the customer and more revenue for the drive-through or for the fast food restaurant. So it's a win-win for both of you. And when you think about upsell, think about maybe bronze, silver, and gold solutions. Each platform has additional features and an incremental price. For example, bronze has some great features, but the silver offers even more, and the gold platform is really robust. But the customer may start with bronze so that he or she can make sure the solution meets their immediate needs. And as you've met those outcomes, you let them know about the other features. You upsell. Upsell is a higher value product and a higher price. And again, as I mentioned, it's a win-win for both the customer and the vendor. And a simple upsell expansion strategy would be as simple as this. You've sold to one department, they love it. Now let's talk to other departments, other divisions, other areas in the US, other parts of the world that would benefit from that solution. That's expansion selling. And I conduct workshops, which are so much fun because the participants come in, they can apply all of the strategies, but this one in particular, upsell and cross-sell, they apply it to their current base of customers. And when they leave, they have a definitive action plan and a robust new pipeline for their existing customers. So it's a proven strategy that can be put into place immediately.
I really like that strategy, Patricia, upsell. It makes me think about if you've kind of already got a proven testimony within an organization. If you're trying to sell to other departments or other locations around the globe, you've got a proven proof of concept, if you will, right there in that organization already. And to leverage that within the organization to sell more certainly speaks to the power of that strategy, I think. So, okay. Moving forward for 2021, what would you say your recommendations are to companies to not only survive, but to really thrive coming up?
You know, it's so important. There's a lot of companies, unfortunately, today that aren't even surviving, but we all want to grow. We want to grow tremendously, and we just don't want to, exist. So the first thing to really, truly thrive, and this is a, word many of us have heard over and over again, but it's never been more important. And that is to be customer focused. Absolutely focus on the customer experience, on the customer needs. Another statistic, because again, my book is full of them. According to Gartner, 80% of companies will differentiate on the customer experience. And that's over product and price as it used to be in the past. So customer experience is the most important thing that you can do to retain, expand your customers, and to thrive and not just survive. You've got to differentiate yourself. You've got to be better than the competition. So make sure you're delighting your customers every single day. Make sure the customer experience is, truly extraordinary, and you will thrive. I have to share with you some more research. This is amazing. This is how important the customer experience and treating your customers is. PricewaterhouseCoopers did a survey with 15,000 consumers. They were surveyed, and of those, 33% said they would switch vendors that they were loyal to after one bad experience. One bad experience and 33% of your customers could leave. This is a big survey, 15,000 consumers. Among those same consumers that they interviewed, those consumers said that with two bad experiences, just two, 92% of them would switch. Again, this tells you how important it is to be truly customer focused, deliver an extraordinary customer experience. That is how you will thrive, is through the customer experience. And as I say, there's, three things. You've got to get your customers, land them. Then you want to retain them. There's great service, delight them every day. And then you're in a position to expand them. Some cases exponentially.
I love that statistic. That's really powerful from PwC that with one, you've got a loyal customer who's been there for years, and potentially with one bad experience, 33% will leave. And then you mentioned with two or three, 90% would leave. That's scary. And hence why it's really so important to delight your customers, right? As we're closing out, is there one particular thought you'd like to leave with our audience?
Well, I've said over and over, the customer experience is so critically important. The other thing is just if you leave with three things, retaining your customers, you heard about that, it increases your profitability. So that's significantly important. Plus, existing customers are easier to sell to, more profitable, drive more revenue, again, easier to sell to. The other thing is, one, retain, two, delight them every day. Really go out of your way. Everyone in the company needs to look at the customers as the most important asset that you have. It's essential that you take great care of your customers. So retain them, delight them. And then once you've done those things, you will expand your revenues and your profits within that customer base. So, again, the three things I would say to leave with today: retain your customers, delight them, and expand them.
I love it. Retain, delight, and expand. Great. All right, in closing out, I'd like to thank the audience for joining us today and listening in on the Power of Connection and Biz show. If you find value in this talk and show, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Power of Connection and Biz with Kimberly Lane. I'd also like to thank Patricia Watkins for joining our show today. Again, she's principal of More Sales Advisors and author of the newly released book from Amazon, Land and Expand, which is already an Amazon #1 bestseller.